What is going on, everybody? I hope you're having a great evening. My name is Bleaves. This is Bedtime with Bleaves. And Charlie Munger, 99-year-old Charlie Munger, longtime partner to Warren Buffett, has passed away at 99. Charlie, known as one of the biggest opponents of cryptocurrency, specifically Bitcoin, calling it a waste of time and saying that it has no intrinsic value, and ending up his conversation while saying that it had no intrinsic value, that he wishes he would have invested in it. But I guess now it's too late. So Charlie Munger, dead at 99. It looks like, by the way, the cryptocurrency market didn't care at all, and it is getting ready to start pumping. Now, we've got news that we're going to go over. We're going to get to it pretty quickly. I don't want to keep you up too much tonight. Luna Classic continuing to have a nice little pump and holding its position, not giving up some of the recent gains. And that probably means there's another level to this. This is not financial advice, but I'm always right.
It's your boy Bleav. Everybody listen up. Let's get it. I'm trying to put money in your pocket. That crypto wallet. That bing bada bing ching ching big profit. Even when the market's sideways, I'm looking for ways to get paid. I'm checking my coins around breakfast, then again around bedtime. Bet this, it's not financial advice, but I'm always right. 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 It's been a long day. I mean a long week. Maybe a long year, so let's get something clear. We're gonna stock up on some party favors later on. Tell everybody they're invited, you should come along. Best to bring your good foot. Ladies gonna be dancing on the ceiling, cocky and appealing, possibly revealing, getting sideways like a bridesmaid as she vibrate. If you a lightweight, hope you hydrate. We gon' tip the bottles back, busting out the fat sacks. People wearing costumes, chewing on a mushroom, something like a wonderland. Understand? Going down the rabbit hole with my kinfolk to another land. Damn, I said we do it like this. Magic carpet riders on some third eye shit. Mr. Pine Cones come a long, long way, so everybody get sideways. Sing it. I can't wait till Friday. Everybody's getting sideways. Pass the bottle back my way. Everybody's getting sideways.
All right, everybody, this is a stick up. Everybody get face down. Ren gag their mouth so they can't make a sound. We've got, if you haven't already, go to watch Crypto Crossfire today, and you will see the gorgeous visage of your man Bleaves on the Crypto Crossfire on the Ben Armstrong channel. Now up to 69,500 subscribers. I don't have that. Ugh. Gross, you know what I mean? But also, it looks like there might be some news to report here in the next week or two regarding both Bencoin and on Ben Armstrong. Looks like things are starting to come to a head, and that we might have a little bit of clarity and closure into at least some of what's been going on for the last little while. So, wishing Ben well, and he texted me from a new phone number tonight. Like, who burner phone? Are you kidding me? Come on, man. Burner phone. Not really. I think he just got a new number because part of that was with the old company or something like that. Anyway, CZ Binance resigns as chair of Binance.us. This is, guys, this is what I keep talking about. And I keep joking about it because I know that it affects some of you guys, and you guys get like, oh, I can't believe you're saying that about CZ Binance because he's part of, like, he was in the tablets that Moses brought down, or that Abraham brought down from the come on, God, it's CZ. Well, listen, CZ did crime and got caught for crime, and felonies, and he's going to be in the United States for a little while. However, in order for the company to move on, they have to get some clarity and they have to clear him out of the quote unquote wreckage that is currently Binance.us. In order to do that, he's got to step down. So he has resigned as chairman of the Binance.us board of directors. So that clears the way for Richard Teng to resume the licensing requirements, to go through the process and clarify and clear any issues, concerns that the United States might have, so that Binance.us can continue to do business in the United States. This is still a big market, and even if they exit here and come back at a later time, they're missing out on a lot of business. It's not a great look. So I think Richard Teng is going to do everything that he can to make sure that in the public eye, Binance is still shown to have strength in all communities, by the way. But most importantly, it's CZ getting him quiet and away from everything that's going on right now. So congratulations, by the way, to CZ, who, no matter what happens right here, he's changed his life. He's done great things for cryptocurrency. He's changed the face of cryptocurrency probably forever with his efforts, and going forward will probably be a huge advocate for cryptocurrency mass adoption in the future. And when it's all said and done, still a billionaire. So do I think that's a good person? No. Does it really matter? Also no. Anyway, Solana is soaring, and you can earn more by playing these games. And guys, I usually don't talk to you about this stuff because I don't care. Like Solana blockchain has been having an epic run, but then I saw this thing that said where you can earn more by playing these games. So as far as they go, it's EV.io. What would make the classic Quake 3 arena even better? Earning cash while fragging foes. Probably. Well, that's basically what EV.io serves up. This web-based game takes the old school arena first-person shooter and adds the ability to earn cryptocurrency while you play, which only amplifies the sense of frenzied competition. It's totally free to pay, although you need to buy an NFT if you want to earn the in-game e-currency that can be cashed out for Solana. Also, you have Steppen, which is a movement app. Steppen, in fact, guys, I do have to point this out, and I think that at one point there were a lot of people calling Steppen a scam, including someone, I think Ben Armstrong might have even said it at one point, that Steppen could be a scam token because it was heavily invested in by Sam Bankman-Fried. And you know that wad of chewed bubblegum probably never worked out a day in his life. But Steppen was, I think at one point, $2.1 billion was the market cap on Steppen on the launch, before retracing dramatically and coming back down, but still maintaining a pretty good market cap. And as it is on this blockchain, you'll need to buy an NFT sneaker in the game to get started. However, but putting a little skin in the game might motivate you to up your exercise routine and ultimately rack up more Solana. So it looks like you can earn Steppen tokens or GST. They're called GST rewards. And then you can convert those, of course, to Solana, just like you can any token on the Ethereum blockchain. Aurora is also a game, a Pokemon-inspired role-playing game that runs across Solana and Ethereum scaling networks. Arbitrum, as a blog post explains, Aurora powers players earn in-game sub-tokens by battling their NFT creatures, which are then automatically converted to Auri tokens and awarded to players. Then you have Star Atlas, Sage Labs. Then you have DeFi Land. Don't want to get too deep into these, but there are different opportunities for you guys to have, and that's actually very, very cool. So what I'm going to do is put a link down in the description here. So if you guys are interested in any gaming tokens, especially on the Solana blockchain, it's ERC-20 compliant because it's Solana. So grab yourself a Solana wallet, fund it, get whatever it is that you need, and get to playing, because it seems like to me a great opportunity for you to earn a little bit of Solana and or whatever token. So yeah, this seems like a really good deal here. So I'm going to pop that in Solana game. Solana games. All right, so I put that in the description down below so that you can see that in case you guys want to, do anything more with it. just in case. But on to the next topic. Now, Terra Luna Classic surges. Is that a flash in the pan or the start of a steady climb? This article today. Now, while we go over this article, I do want to stress that today I got an article. That article said that Luna Classic Lab, and guys, let me tell you what a lunkhead I am, right? LunaClassicLabs.com is Lunk Predator. Lunk Predator is not like some kind of multi-millionaire owner of some massive company or anything like that. That's just Lunk Predator. And so I saw Luna Classic Labs. And by the way, when I first heard that somebody was buying $500,000, I thought it was Terraform Labs getting in. So I was like, wow, that's super exciting. Then I saw that it was, and you might notice my video today, when I did the video today, like I was a little, like I couldn't understand what was going on because I was familiar with the name Luna Classic Labs, but I literally was not putting two and two together. At that point, I was not seeing the forest for the trees. I thought, well, you know what? Maybe there's just another Luna Classic Labs, and that maybe Lunk Predator renamed himself, and there's just a conflict of interest there, and he probably have to make a name change or something like that. Didn't dawn on me that this was going to be Lunk Predator. Well, so it turns out that a few hours later, the same article, I think it was you today, or CoinGape puts out an addendum to the article that says that the U.S. government has reached out to them and told them not to do anything and put it on hold. Well, turns out none of that was true. Luna Classic Labs, Lunk Predator came out and said, this is not me. This has nothing to do with me. I have no idea what this is. So it would seem to me that it's Rabbi Jedediah Glockenspiel or whatever the guy's name is. And then the other guy was Lunk Dow, which they may be the same guy for all I know. But I think it was if you've ever known anything, it's the rabbi is, I want to say his name is like Jebediah Sheckelstein or something like that. So I think those guys might be working together, humping and dumping and just messing around with the ecosystem. For what reason? I would assume would just be profit, but that happened. So over the last 30 days, Lunk has experienced a substantial upswing with a reported 97% increase in value. The surge in Lunk can be primarily attributed to a couple of significant developments within the ecosystem. Terra Classic Labs made a strategic investment of approximately $500,000. They did not. Now, notice here, it's Terra Classic Labs here, but it was Luna Classic Labs on the other one, and it's just changing the names, okay? And then there's a little bit more to it under there. But the pivotal factor behind the rally is the significant token burn that has occurred. Over 78 billion Lunk tokens have been destroyed, reducing the circulating supply to 5.8 trillion. This is not true. None of what's going on here is very true. But there was, and this did start a rally. Now, by the way, for those of you that pay attention to me every day, then you know that I've been watching Luna Classic for a long period of time, and I've been telling you when and where it's going to break out and what it's going to look like and how it's going to go and you know what you can expect to see when this happens, right? Well, here we are, and we're about to hit 1,500, and it's pumping again on this hour, because it's time. It's time. The market is changing. The Asian markets are waking up, and they like Luna Classic. Okay. Also, we're starting to understand, because what really drove this and what got it started without any of the pomp and circumstance was there was a proposal that was put out about using the spread fee to basically peg USTC to 2 cents and then 3 cents and then make its way up until it was repegged back to $1. Now, you cannot repeg USTC to $1 right now because there are 8.9 billion tokens in circulation. It is mathematically impossible. They don't have the money for that. If you know 10% of the people cashed out, they are look. Terra Luna Classic, the rebels here, they have I want to say not even $1 million. Okay, not even close to 1 million. So there's absolutely no way that in the reserves they have the capacity to do that. So this is an improbability. So what you have to do is you have to burn. So the idea is the spread fee would burn 100% of the USTC that's being traded, And then along with that, there would be a repeg, which would also burn Luna Classic through the whole proxy process. And that would thereby create an enhanced value for both tokens at the same time. And this is speculative. There is no test center. It has not been programmed in. We don't know what it's going to look like yet, but this was an idea up for discussion. Now, being up for discussion does not mean that it's implemented or it's real, just that they're talking about it. But that was enough for people to understand, oh, this is the time where I need to look at this project again and start to check it out with a critical eye. And when they came in, they saw this little pump right here and said, oh no, this thing actually is having a nice move. When I start to look at it from the end of October until right now, that's 81%, up to now 142%. So this thing is pumping. I want to be part of it because when it pumps, it could be epic. Well, here we are, and it looks like it might be an epic pump. So it's just getting started. Like we've got a 2 years worth of bull market. Imagine where this thing is going to be at the end of a bull market. And I want to say that, what we're looking at right now, these are just the starting numbers. These are nothing compared to where this will end up. It is my belief that it ends up at 1 penny. That would be my guess. Now, I said 2.8 cents at the height of the bull market because I do think that it will get close, maybe even 3 cents, just because it would look good rounded up. But I'm going to say 2.8 cents is probably, the top. And I just did that because the math plays out that way with the amount of burns, speculating the amount of burns. If the burns are the same as the original Terra Luna Classic, then that's where it ends up. It ends up at about 2.8 cents. That is a wild, rampant guess. I have no factual basis to back that random, wild guess up, by the way, other than to say that within 16 months of the repeg, they had burned 66% of the supply on the original Terra and Luna pegging. And if they were able to do something similar to that, then we're talking about a reduction of supply of about 66%, taking the supply from 6 trillion all the way down to, I want to say, like 2.4 trillion, which would be about 3x from where we are. So then you add in the amount that you could potentially look at in a revenue spike during a bull market. We can probably get this thing back to 30 billion, which is another, at this point, 100x. So I'm looking at about 300x, 350x from where it is right now. And that's where the number came from. So, there's no miracle to it or anything like that. So just so you guys have an idea of that. How are you feeling? Thank you so much for the $10 bomb, Crypto Pelican. How are you feeling about Volt with the influx of all these new coins? 2 billion market cap still in the cards. I would say that there's even more. I would say that there's even more possibility of upside on Volt. It does have the utilities and it does have the things in place that will make it preferable and preferred by people in the next market, just because it also burns a lot of tokens for any other project that wants to use VoltiChange, and they'll get good marketing, and they'll get, once the market switches and retail comes back, people are going to be like, oh my God, we should probably use VoltiChange or something like that in order to burn. And why not VoltiChange? So it's got a tremendous amount of upside. So 2 billion, I think, is probably a low number at this point. And Clayton says, the burns are irrelevant. If it pumps for lunk. And that is not true. Well, let me rephrase that. That is true. However, the issue, Clayton, is that if you have one of 6 trillion tokens, roughly, by the way, if you have one of 6 trillion tokens, you've basically got nothing. You've got one token valued at, what is this, 300ths of 1 cent. And if the market cap goes up 100x, then what you've got is 2 100ths of 1 cent, which that's not shit. That's a miserable little total. The fact that you could burn half of the supply and still maintain the market cap, if that market cap were to 100x, means instead of 100x, you're now looking at 200x. If you burn 75% of the supply, then instead of 100, you would be looking at a 300x. It would just continue to move up and up and up and up in the numbers game. just because you are reducing the supply. And if you can reduce that supply, and by the way, I have no numbers yet on the supply reduction, so I don't know what they are, but if that supply reduction looks good, then it matters, right? All I have to do is hold and not trade. Or when I do trade, I'm trading USTC, I'm getting USTC and Luna Classic. And when Luna Classic pumps, buy some USTC. And then when USTC pumps, buy some Luna Classic and just swap it back over and then stake it as I can and then continue to accumulate. And that's what I've been doing. So it doesn't matter overall in terms of the value that you have right now, but it will if we can reduce that supply, because then the amount that you're holding just becomes exponentially worth more. And that's what I think is going to happen. So that's why I think that the burn is very important, because if you remember, by the way, just so everybody understands, there were 1 billion tokens originally in the Luna supply. By the time they had repegged for they had pegged initially for 16 months, there were only 343 million tokens left. That's why it had a market cap of $119 per token. That's why it was so high, and that's why it was so valuable, because if it were not, then, I mean, you would be looking at, I mean, I guess it, 343, 123 times 119 equals, so you got basically a $40 billion market cap, right? So a $40 billion market cap right now is that would be the goal, right? But if you did that with, if you had 100 million tokens, then this would have been $40. So instead of $119, you would have been $40.81. So it matters dramatically how many tokens that you would have. So just remember that, the more you have, the lower the price potentially runs. So let's move on here. SEC asks public for feedback. Franklin Templeton and Hashdex. We were told that it would happen. We knew that it was going to happen, but it was not made official until today. Today, the SEC asked for more public feedback on a proposed spot Bitcoin ETF with Franklin Templeton and Hashdex. And that means that they've pushed it back into January. Now that it plays right into the trap, so to speak, of what is it that they're really trying to do here, right? So now if that is the case, we're going to pop this out and we're going to come over here and I'm going to go into X and I'm going to show you a guy here. And he's actually a relatively important person in that in the space. James Seifert right here. He is an ETF analyst, and he's been doing this for many, many years. And this was October 13. Here we go. Update. Franklin has submitted an updated prospectus for their spot Bitcoin ETF. Earlier today, I said that Franklin was the only filer that had not yet submitted an amended S1. It just dropped a minute ago. So this was what was going on earlier today. And the people were talking about, like, what do you think is going on, right? Update. Wow, SEC went super early on Franklin. They weren't due for another decision until January 1st. Notably, Franklin is the only issuer who didn't submit an updated S1 yet. Wonder if that has any impact here. And now they have. And here's what's happening. This delay on Hashdex all but confirms for me that this was likely a move to line every applicant up for potential approval by the 10 January 2024 deadline. So here's what you now have. What you now have is every single spot Bitcoin ETF has to be approved between January 1 and January 10. Well, actually, I'm sorry, between January 10 and January 17, I think is the date. So what you're now witnessing is Gary Gensler lining them all up so that nobody gets an unfair advantage. So what you're going to see is ARC-21 is the first one. That will be the first one approved. The announcement will then be followed by a BlackRock approval, and then a Fidelity and an Invesco improve. All of them will start to get approvals over hours. It won't take days, and it won't take weeks. It won't take any period of time. What the SEC has found is if they release just one of them, without the other within 2 days, that means that that one entity will have 60% of the market automatically by default. So what they're going to try to do is they're going to try to prevent that, and they're going to try to make sure that there's no centralization to this project of Bitcoin and spot ETFs. And what they'll do is they'll announce most of them very, very rapidly so that people are not stuck in one of those positions where you're everybody's going to ERC-21 all of a sudden. So that's probably how this thing plays out. Now, moving on here, Coinbase sent a letter out to people who have transferred their money from Coinbase to Bybit, and the letter said no action is required, but Coinbase may respond to the subpoena unless served before November 30, 2023 with a motion to quash or other objection. And what it was basically saying is, and it doesn't apply to you, but it was sent to everybody. But anybody who moved their money from Bybit to Coinbase got this letter because there was a subpoena that was issued over something that had happened previously between Bybit and Coinbase. So it was an error. You don't have anything to worry about. And that's where we are. Next up, Bitcoin. This is where it's starting to get good. Okay. Now we're talking about what's going to happen in this market. Bitcoin's unbreakable floor. Analyst predicts Bitcoin won't fall below 35,000 ever again. Plan B, and actually Plan B, I'm a fan of Plan B. He's been pretty good so far about his prediction, but he said that Bitcoin would never plummet below 35,000 threshold again. He supported his claim with a chart illustrating Bitcoin's valuation trend after its intrinsic hash rate. Now, I disagree that it won't go down below 35,000, but I don't know. In fact, just this morning we were talking about where the liquidity range is, and I think maybe, Jesus Christ, maybe I didn't. Hold on one second. Let's go out to the 1 year number because there was a specific 1 year number, which I thought was going to be below 30,000. Yeah. So he's not right. I don't think he's right. 34,000 right now is where there's about $15 billion in liquidity sitting. So I don't think that there's any circumstance in which we would not retrace back down and capture that amount of money that's just kind of sitting there. Now you can look at these lower numbers and say, well, there's a lot of money sitting down there, but it's not practical to get to. So this is still a derivatives and trader market. So this means that we could move down here. A couple days ago, we were at 34,000. We can still do 34,000 again. I mean, technically speaking, we could still do all the way down to 12,000. But the realistic thing is that this market is really pumping. It's really pushing. So it'd be very difficult to get down there. But 34,000, I think, is at least in the cards right now, despite the prediction here that we'll never go down below 35,000 again. Next up, Bitcoin storms past 38,000 once more, anticipating a breakout to a new annual peak. The annual peak that we're looking for right now. And if you listen to Dr. Profit or any of these other guys, they're telling you that 38.5 is where it's all going to crash down. Now, if you listen to Dr. Profit, if you listen to any one of these other guys, then what they told you was when we get to $38,500 on Bitcoin, then you should go into a big time short because we are coming down dramatically at that point. Well, guess what happened? None of that they said was going to happen has actually happened so far. So if you are entered into a position here, everybody went short at 38.5. I don't think that sometimes I feel like people don't understand the dynamics of this market well enough. At this point, we're in an ascending wedge breakout pattern, and at any moment now, this thing is going to rip to 40,000. That's what's going on in this market. Now, could we break down? We can always break down, by the way. When I tell you this, I'm telling you my opinion. I'm not telling you, hey, you know what you should do? Go put a whole bunch of money on a futures saying that we're going to 40,000. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that in my estimation, we're about to rip to 40,000. Maybe we stop at 39, but I think that we're about to get on another one of those runs like we were on the other day. And Jerome Powell is going to be speaking. I think it's on Wednesday. So I think tomorrow is the date that we get Jerome Powell. We'll check that out in just a few minutes. Let's get through the rest of this. But 38,000 broke it again, went to 38,400, by the way. Again, 38,400, that is the line to gain right now. And that's where everybody's setting their shorts. And they're anticipating this move all the way down to 33. And guys, I do not think it's going to happen. Again, I think 34, maybe, we get a wild hair, we get down into that 34 range, but 33 seems a long way off for the moment. We haven't cooled off in a way that would tell me that that's getting ready to happen. What is getting ready to happen, according to this chart, we went up to 38,389 just a few short hours ago, and then we're not recovering back down into where we were before. What we did is we wicked off of this right now. We've got an accumulation, and now we are probably headed back up, and we're probably going to test 39 maybe tonight. That's what it looks like right now. So anybody telling you that we're coming back down, I don't think that they're paying attention to the charts. I think that they're looking at history and they're just trying to figure it out as best they can based on some historical evidence that says, well, if you do this, then this is what's most probably going to happen. I don't think that we're in that position right now. So keep watching and keep paying attention. Trader predicts explosive move for Bitcoin, said Bitcoin is crawling now so it can sprint later. And this is Credible Crypto. Been on the war room with him a couple times, and he says we ain't stopping at 40,000 either, in my opinion. Now I disagree, and I think that we are going to stop at 40,000. That's going to be a significant. That's going to be a significant spot right there. And look, people are starting to see wild claims coming out of people right now, saying that, well, you know what? If we go to 40,000. And the Bitcoin ETF is getting approved, and we're within an hour, we'll be at 60,000. Within 3 hours, we'll be at 100,000. Within 24 hours, we'll be at 200,000. No. First of all, no. That's not going to happen. But it would kick off an altcoin season if we could get to 70,000. If something radical were to happen like that, that would take us to 70,000. We would have a gigantic altcoin season immediately because people are waiting for the top of Bitcoin again so they can take profit and cash out at the top one more time. They're waiting for that moment. And if that were to happen, then we would be kicking off a massive, massive, massive move for altcoins, that is. So, just to kind of summarize here, what he's saying is that he thinks that we are just getting ready for this big run. So, data shows Bitcoin traders taking profits, Dogecoin wallets surging, and Cardano wallets declining. Dogecoin, because we're getting closer to X doing whatever X is going to do on their platform, a lot of people are starting to speculate that maybe Dogecoin is going to be the blockchain that it operates under because of Elon's fascination with Dogecoin. So if you don't have any Dogecoin, excuse me, and I don't, but if you don't have any Dogecoin, actually, I might have some in Robinhood. Damn, I forgot about that. So if you don't have any Dogecoin, it might be time to get some because the speculation at this point, but the speculation would be that there is a move for Elon to play here, and that is to turn the Dogecoin blockchain into the blockchain for the X ecosystem, and that would be gigantic. Now, Bitcoin News says price exceeds Capriole investments production cost metric. Historically, this event has always resulted in a bull market. So we've broken out of their whatever their investment production cost metric is, which means that that is the start of the bull run. Just another symbol here. When we break out, bull run. When we break out, bull run. When we break out over here, we'll see what happens. But generally speaking, we broke out over here, big move. Break out here, big move. Break out over here, big move. Break out over here. What's going to happen next? Probably a big move. So keep paying attention and keep watching because when it happens, it's going to get crazy. Now, also, the other piece to this is 25,000 Bitcoin have been withdrawn from exchanges in the last 2 weeks. The exchanges are drying up. It's getting hard to get Bitcoin. When it's getting hard to get Bitcoin, that means that price on Bitcoin is going to go up. And the reason it goes up is it's going to entice people to take it back and put it back on the exchanges because they want to sell it. So you're going to have to bring sellers back because the buyers, the buyers are going to see a massive price increase. Guys, everything is shaping up right now for something that's going to be just an incredible, incredible move. And speaking of incredible, just absolutely incredible moves, How about this? Cryptonomy.finance is what you need. Cryptonomy Ventures right now, they support forward-thinking entrepreneurs and propel the crypto Web3 ecosystem forward, supporting Cryptonomy's mission to empower global economic freedom. If you are interested in this, then click Get Funding, and then you can get started right away. Previously, we talked about our flexible spending, and we were going to make some deposits. So I'm going to make a few deposits right here. We're going to do Bitcoin. I'm going to throw, let's do it. Why not? And we're going to do 12-month staking. 76.9% is the fixed rate. Now, in the event that you want to enable monthly interest, we do this right here. That changes the dynamic here to 56%. I don't need it, so I'm just going to take this and I'm going to hit continue here. And I'm going to agree to the terms and conditions, and we're going to go ahead and stake that. Let's stake a little bit with Quant right here. We're going to use ETH because I've got a little bit of ETH on the sideline over here. We're going to use our max ETH 1.29. We're going to put that in for another 12 months on Quant as well. Go. Let's pop in here on some Tether Gold and see what happens there. We've got a little bit of XRP in the wallet. Let's convert a little bit of XRP over here into Tether Gold right now. We're going to pop that in right now. Read the terms and conditions, and we are done. All right, now we're gonna pop in a Tether here. We got 4,300 bucks in Tether. We're gonna pop in max right here, 59.6%. Now you might be noticing the percentage right there is not as great. Well, this is a stable coin, so the rate of return on that was going to be just a little bit less. We're gonna hit continue on that one. Boom. We are now holding Tether as well. So we've got a whole bunch over here. Now we're going to come over here. I'm going to hit refresh right here. These are all my holdings right now. I've got a little bit staked. You saw me do that before. Put a little bit in here before. Much better on XRP, Ethereum, and then, of course, this is in the fixed rate category, but very good rates right there. You can see that those are some really, really juicy rates. Finally, over here, if you want the big returns right here, it is all about the Launchpool. So if you haven't already, go check out the Launchpool. Launchpool's got some great returns, great yields. All you have to do is create a contract. The investments are going to start paying themselves off. So make sure that you guys are checking this out. Links are in the description down below. All right, there we go. Now, back to the matter at hand, and that is where are we on all of this stuff? Now, we're going to open this up just a bit here, and now we're going to get into this mode right here, and let's talk chart action. Currently up 4.3 billion from 7 o'clock. I want to say it was about 2.5 hours now because of the time change. So, but we wicked up here at 38,400 again. Now at 38,425 over here, and 38,400 right here. Dr. Profit kicked off his, everybody needs to start going short. Well, if everybody needs to go short, then that means that everybody is shorting. If everybody is shorting, then that means that the predators in this market know that everybody is shorting. They know that the game and that the play is 38.5. If that's the play, why would they do it? I hope that makes sense to everybody. There are traders doing a whole bunch of different stuff, but there are big time whales that manipulate these markets. There are institutions that make these prices, that set the prices, that vet the prices. And I think right now they're looking at cleaning up some of the liquidity that's sitting. Now I'm going to 1 year right here. I'm going to go back down to 24 hours on liquidity, and you can see right here, there is a massive pool at 38,005. Now, there is some down here, and we could very well dump down into this 37 all the way down to 37,000 range in order to pull up some of this massive pool right here, just to wreck a whole bunch of people who are holding long positions, and then rip all the way up here to 38,005 and get those. But if you check here and you continue to look, then going all the way up to 39, you're starting to see liquidity pools starting to pop up. When I move up to the 3-day, where you're seeing a little bit more in it, then you're seeing it all the way up again to about 38.8 right now. But the big pool is down here at 36.7 still, from what I said earlier today, which is probably people going long right around here at 37, 30, 37. What was this last one right here? 37.5. So at 37.5, everybody kind of went long right here, and this is where they're going to end up getting wrecked because that's their leverage position. So, but I think that we're on the way for a big move towards that upside. It just kind of makes sense at this point. even if it only comes up here to 35.8, 35, just to wreck all of these people is going to be something to behold. Remember, I told you that there was no, by the way, we should actually look at that. I'll show you guys. Let's get to a day chart here, and I'm going to do a volume profile, and then you guys will see what I'm talking about right here. So we're going to pop up the volume profile, and then we're going to take the volume profile and we're going to turn this into a 256 so that there's a lot more lines, a little easier to read that way. And you can look right here and you can see that even in the long term, what I've always told you guys was that there was a gap right in here. And it was from this 31,000. Remember, we were trying to wick up to 31,000. And then there was a gigantic gap that took us all the way up to 37,000 with a little nose sticking out. It used to be just a little bit right here. But because of all of this consolidation that we've had right here, that's turned this into one of those spots because we stuck ourselves right at around 34, 35,000. Well, now we're up above the consolidation range at this point. Now we have to zoom back out. We zoom out just a little bit further and we start to look at the rest of this chart. There's no volume over here, right? The biggest volume node that we possibly have is right here at 42,000 for Terra Luna's collapse, and then again up here at 48,000. And you can just barely see them as bumps over here. There's just no resistance all the way up until you get, again, to 60,000. 58,000 is actually the number, but we'll call it 60,000 but that's not the spot, by the way. It is right there, 57,000. That seems to be the spot where most of it is. But anyway, so there's no resistance here. So if the money comes in, there's not a lot of people with a lot of trade volume that have a vested interest in doing anything more than hodling from this point up to, I want to say 48,000. I mean, there's really not a lot of people that are looking to liquidate their positions other than, just a bunch of fanboys going like, bro, I just sold the top. You know what I mean? Like, it's totally awesome. It's like totally, so that's legit, bro. You know what I mean? So I get the sense here that we're just about ready for just something radical and big. And, basically the bull market is on. You know what I mean? So that's the way that this thing looks right now. Now, when you look at ETH, you're basically seeing the same thing. I mean, it's all playing out the same way. You look at high IQ, which is good for trading, by the way. And we're going to change this over. I'm on scalp right now, but we're going to turn this to hodl right now. And on the hodl, then it's not even telling you to take profit at this point, right? It gave you a buy signal way, way back over here. It hasn't even given you a buy signal in a long ass time. So, let's do swing here. Maybe at least there'll be a little more activity when we look at the swing. So we'll see there's an entry right there. So, long term, this is long term. So, there we go. The last buy signal came a month ago. I want to say just about a month ago, right before we had that next big move right there. So we're looking for a red E to emerge for an exit position, but we haven't seen one yet. So if we start to see that, then that's going to be a signal that it is coming down. But guys, I just do not think that we are looking at that. We're not looking at anything coming down right now. We're going to close that volume profile. We're looking at the moving averages. The moving averages just crossed over. This is a day chart, by the way, crossed over a couple days ago. If we look at the 1 hour, I told you the 1 hour would probably cross over. It has not yet crossed over. So it was looking like it was about to right over here. After we had that move, it started to move back upwards like it was going to get a crossover, and it did not. It's actually seems to be coming back down right now. So we got to at least consider that this thing is going to have a little break to the upside to really turn this thing around. Otherwise, we could be looking at a little bearish breakdown for a short period of time, but nothing major. Bitcoin, not the same. Bitcoin is actually about to cross over. So, maybe Ethereum just gets dragged along with it. And there we go. Luna Classic, by the way, Luna Classic is about dead even on the day. Was at 11,860, popped up to 12,700 just about an hour ago, almost to 1,400. It's absolutely crazy, but it looks like it's going to start a breakout again. If it breaks out from here and has a nice little rally, then we're looking at 14 or 1500. It could be the start of something new. USTC also having a little bit of a breakout, bouncing around right here at the 618 level. Could be on the way up to at least this is moving upwards. So we could probably test 4.9 cents again pretty soon. So I mean, we'll see how we'll see how it plays out, but things are looking really, really good across the board. Ben 1113 up on the day, not really, really just the broader market that's pumping it up right now. Volt, every time it gets an opportunity, somebody just sells it back down. So, same thing happening over here, and we got to get back up. And look, if you don't break 35, you're not going anywhere until Volt breaks 35. This right here, 3460, getting up here and then wicking out so heavy and then getting a retest and then failing on that retest caused a massive rejection all the way down to where we are right now. There's going to have to be a big move and a big bold move of new buyers and fresh wallets coming into Volt so that we can see it get just basically dragged upwards. WAGMI 22,760 did have a big run up to 36, came back down. Still consolidating in a very good position. And by the way, let's come over here and look at this on this chart right here. And you can see MUSK is the big gainer so far for today. Saitama is right there as well. WAGMI down to 21.17 on the overall. And guys, Grok is still holding a position. Now, when I say that, that sounds like, oh my God, Grok is set for the next big run. And it very well could start to take off again because Elon Musk won't shut up about Grok. He continues to do stuff with Grok. And as long as he's performing and putting work in on Grok, then this thing is probably going to run again. Elon historically doesn't focus on these things for very long, but this seems to be like his thing, right? So 163 million market cap, only 3 million in liquidity though. So like, Jesus Christ, this thing cannot, there's basically 1 or 2 millionaires in it, and that's it. So not a huge amount of money, but these guys are trading the absolute shit out of it right now. If it comes back down, by the way, if you get an opportunity, remember, this is where the rip is, and we're going to get rid of all of this stuff down here. If you get this rip back down, then just use a fib retracement tool and ta-da. Right now you've bounced off of your 0.50. So it should come down by all rights to about 18 or 1322. 1291 is what that says, but it's going to come down to about 13. If it comes down to 13 one more time, I would take that bet and I would go for it. I'm not going to go for it. I'm not playing this degen shit, but 3 million liquidity says stay away. 166 million market cap says not if you're a Chad. So I don't see there's no reason for it's too risky. This is just too much. This is too much risk. I'm protecting capital. I'm not spending capital on dumb shit. So and this right here is dumb shit. Now what's not dumb shit, by the way, Promethean Prodigy having another breakout yet again, continuing and just continuing to send itself. So what it's turning into a great project. Don't know who's behind it. Nothing. I don't know anything about it. I did a promo video for them a couple of months ago. But this is all the guys that sold off all their Volt. They're the ones that are pumping this. So I'm not sure what's going on with it. But I mean, it could end up being something really, really good. Maybe that's what they were selling all their Volt for, to pump this thing up. So if that's the case, I would certainly be checking this out. Now, the other thing is, if you look at this right here, then you can see that they're gaming the system and they're creating, they're using a MEV. They're using a MEV bot. They've created their own MEV bot to make it look like there's a bunch of transactions going through. And to be fair, like it's working so far. You know what I mean? So I mean, more power to them. If they can, if they can do this and continue to make the chart just appear like people are pumping it, then I mean, let's go. You know what I mean? And also one of the other tricks, if you hadn't seen the tricks of the trade here, you got to consider something right here. $1 million in liquidity, and there's only 755 holders. Just think about that for a second, okay? And market cap of 3.88 million. There are a couple of whales that are just kind of sitting there holding on to it, waiting for a certain point, and then then you have a decision to make. So I'd be very careful in this, but also remember that, you know, if you had gotten in early, or if you are in early, you're up pretty significant. So I would not be holding on, by the way, but that's just me. You do what you want to do. And then with that, we got Lee Qualify. He says, yo, believes Jesus coin is rising and blessing. No pressure, but may want to research again and see the good deeds. And matter of fact, we did see the Jesus chart. I think I did point out the Jesus chart at one point. I was like, like this is a risk investment. And if it does, if it does have one of those fall downs, then you just have to wait 3 days and it'll be resurrected. Is that right? Did I say that right? Is that how it works? Not sure how that goes, but yeah, so it fell down. Please tell me that was 3 months. It was 3 months, and now it's resurrected to another all-time high. And that's a really great story, despite that, you know, like I'm not the deeply religious sort or anything like that, but I do enjoy a comeback story, and this is an amazing comeback story. They've been able to market it and mint it in a great way, and to continue to move this chart in a positive direction for their holders. And it has 2 million in liquidity and a $36 million market cap. Now think about all of these chads that are out here lying to you, saying, yeah, but Croc's got 163 million market cap. It's a lie, right? It's because of the way that they paired it. They're holding on to an enormous amount of the supply. Like that's how it works. They only paired a few tokens. You know what I mean? Like they didn't pair a bunch of tokens. So that makes it look like there's a gigantic difference. So until they enter those tokens into the market and start selling them off and stuff like that, it's going to look kind of weird. So this right here looks a lot better to me, but $10 or not, thank you so much for the $10 bomb, but I can't tell somebody to buy at the top. If you're looking to enter a trade into this, then I would, not this move right here, but I would look at this move right here, and I would do a fib retracement on this one, and you can see that it hit 38, probably going to come down to the 50 at 1917. And then you've got a 1673. So if you get into, this is your golden pocket. Your golden pocket is right here. So if you can get into anywhere between 1325 and 1673, this is your entry position. And then expect that it's going to run up to around this level, 2161, and then probably dump back down again, test 1917. If it's going to break out, it'll do it in that pattern most probably. Now, if it sits where it is right now, it's manipulated, because the market doesn't work that way. So you got to be very careful when you're looking at it and when you're trying to find your position. The place to enter after a parabolic move like this is the golden pocket, and that golden pocket is the 618 to 786 level right down there. And then your take profit area is going to be right there. Get your money back out and then take the rest and let it moonbag its way and see what happens with it. And if something good happens, then now you're a holder and you've got a piece of Jesus in your heart. And by the way, I didn't even show the screen. Isn't that a bitch? Hold on 1 second here. Now I got to do this all over again. Hashtag my bad. Hey, wait a minute. Do I get to say Jesus is risen again? All right, here we go. All right, so this is what it looks like right here. So we're taking the fib retracement from the parabolic move where it started all the way up to the top. And you can see right here, this is a day chart, by the way. If I go to the hour, you'll see a little difference here. But this is the start of the big move. And then you have it wicking up to the top, then you have it come back down, and it comes down to the 38 level, then it rejects and comes back up, and then it comes back down a little bit further. Now, this means that it's losing steam, and then it's coming back down for some retesting, right? So that's why it matters that in the next few hours, you might see this thing enter this golden pocket. This golden pocket is from 1325 all the way up to 1673. I would put a small amount in right here, see what happens, because it might reject and move. You could also put a small amount in right here, not recommended by me, but you could put a small amount in right here and let it test its way back up here. That's actually a 10% increase. And depending on what your risk tolerance is and what your investment is, then you might be able to make a little bag off of that. But what I'd be looking at is for it to continue to break down and continue a breakdown into this range. When it comes down into here, this is your buy signal. Buy right here, and then let it run back up here to the 38 line, which is at 21. That's where just exit, take your money, and then leave whatever the difference is. That's your moon bag, and just leave that in, because this is a high risk one, right? So leave but it's Jesus, right? Everybody loves Jesus. I'm told I have to say that. The Catholic Church tells me I have to, but I would leave that in and just let it ride and see what happens. Now you're a holder, and there's about 8,000 holders right now. So definitely a good opportunity. So there you go. Hey man, they wanted to look at it. They wanted to look at it. So 1325 to 1673. If you get that run, and by the way, Rebelio, if you look at this thing has been around for over 6 months. So it ran, it dumped, it ran again, then it dumped big time, and it looked like a dead one, and then it took off, and it got a nice spike back up to an all-time high. So whatever you think of it, you at least got to consider here that that maybe it's got a little more life than what you think, man. But I didn't write that book. Some other dude did. Anyway, guys, it's not financial advice. My name is Believes. I'm always right. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate each and every one of you. And we will talk to you again in the morning.
I could read a chart like Superman, and I've got a show that has a lot of fans. I'm streaming every day and almost every night, and I bought some Bitcoin 'cause I see the light. They call me Believes. I'll do any chart you want me to. They call me Believes. They call me Believes. I'll break a crypto wallet down for you. I built a crypto channel with a YouTube stream, and all of the YouTube shillers, I'm in a dream. But I stay up late to give my views, and I stay up late just to give you guys the news. Yeah, they call me Believes. I'll do any chart you want me to. They call me Believes. I'll break a crypto wallet down for you. Yeah, I don't know what to do because my memberships are missing you. They call me Believes. I'll break a